Hello, and thanks for joining us for the Navigating Match Week and SOAP webinar. I'm Jeanette Kelly. I'm the Chief of Match Operations for the NRMP, and I'm joined by my colleagues today, Laurel Constantine from the AMC's Electronic Residency Application Service, or ERAS, and Jen Rabb with ResidencyCAS. Here's what we're going to cover in today's webinar. First, we'll give an overview of SOAP, some updates, and the schedule. Then I'm going to turn the session over to my colleagues from ERAS and ResidencyCAS to review their SOAP processes. And then we'll talk some offer rounds, what happens after SOAP, and give some of the SOAP data from last year to put everything into context. Finally, we'll review how to get help if you have additional questions. But before we dive into Match Week and SOAP, I wanted to spend 1 minute on the ranking deadline. If you intend to participate in the match or SOAP by March 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, you must have completed the NRMP registration process, electronically signed our match participation agreement, paid all your match fees, certify your rank order list, and be verified as eligible to enter GME by July 1 by either your medical school if you're a U.S. senior or graduate, or by the ECFMG if you're an IMG applicant. Applicants don't have to certify a rank order list if, for instance, you didn't get any interviews, or you registered to only participate in SOAP. But if you do intend to be matched, you must certify a rank order list. And that 9 p.m. Eastern Time deadline on March 4th is firm. So just so you know, after that time, there will be no additional registrations allowed or any additional rank order list entries or edits. So make sure you enter and certify your rank order list before the deadline. And if you are only participating in SOAP, make sure that you are registered before the deadline. There are no additional registrations after that March 4th deadline. Also know, for those of you who are ranking, that last-minute changes to your rank order list are usually fueled by anxiety and are often regretted. The NRMP will not make any edits or changes to rank order lists after the deadline. And the phones will ring. We do get lots of requests to change lists after the deadline. And while we do certainly empathize with your plight, we will not move your number 2 rank to your number 1 because you made a last-minute change that you now regret. So please do rank by your true preference and certify the list well in advance of the deadline. There are ranking resources and our ranking webinar with more details available on the NRMP website at www.nrmp.org. So just to level set things a little bit, while many people refer to the whole process of applying, interviewing, ranking, and SOAP as the match, the application, interviewing, and matching steps are distinct processes. So the steps you can see on the slide with the icons kind of grayed out there are the steps that the NRMP is not involved in the process. Both applications and interviews are not managed or governed by the NRMP. The NRMP and the application services, so ERAS and ResidencyCAS, are separate services with separate systems. We all work together to make it work, but we are all separate organizations and systems. So you'll rank your programs in the NRMP's registration ranking and results, or R3 system. We're the match, but you don't do that in the application service. And NRMP is also where you'll receive your match results and the list of unfilled programs to participate in SOAP if you don't match. So during the ranking phase of the match, both applicants and programs submit rank order lists of their preferred options, and they rank those in order from most preferred to least preferred. After that ranking deadline on March 4th, the NRMP runs the algorithm to fill as many positions as possible using those applicant and program lists. Once we've quality checked the results and created really just tens of thousands of reports, we are ready for Match Week and SOAP. So let's talk about Match Week and SOAP. So what is SOAP? So while we do typically fill about 95% of positions using the matching algorithm, there are always unfilled positions left over at the end available, and we put those in the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program, or SOAP. And that's how we try to fill those positions. SOAP is not another match, and we do not use the algorithm during SOAP. SOAP provides a uniform system for programs to offer unfilled positions to eligible unmatched or partially matched applicants through a series of offer rounds during Match Week. Applicants find out their match status and view the unfilled list in the NRMP, and then apply to the unfilled programs from that NRMP list using the application service designated by each program. Programs review those applications, reach out to applicants they're interested in for what are usually kind of quick virtual or phone interviews or conversations. And then those unfilled programs create what we call preference lists in the NRMP system. So they create preference lists of applicants, and those are what is used to generate offers to eligible applicants in a series of 4 offer rounds, and those happen on Thursday of match week. Just like in the match, positions offered and accepted during SOAP do constitute a binding commitment between the applicant and the program under the match participation agreement, just like they do if the applicant had matched. Applicants are matched using the algorithm, and unmatched applicants are placed into positions during offer rounds in SOAP. But both paths constitute a binding commitment. Applicants must be eligible to participate in SOAP. So I mentioned this briefly a couple slides ago, but to participate in SOAP, again, you must register for the 2026 main residency match in the NRMP system and be verified as eligible to enter graduate medical education on July 1, 2026. For IMGs, credentials are verified by the ECFMG. For USMD and DO seniors and graduates, your medical schools will verify your eligibility. And then, of course, to participate in SOAP, you must be fully or partially unmatched. The question we usually get here is, what does it mean to be partially unmatched? Applicants who ranked advanced or preliminary programs and who do not match to one or the other types are considered partially unmatched. So for instance, if a student matched to an advanced radiology program, but not a preliminary program, they're considered partially unmatched because they don't have a full course of training. I'm going to cover this more in a moment when I discuss the list of unfilled programs. On Monday of match week, when the match status results are released, your SOAP eligibility will display along with your matched status. In addition to understanding your eligibility and how SOAP works, there are some very specific and strict communication and application rules that must be adhered to during SOAP. And the reason we have these rules is to really just keep the process as fair as possible for all applicants. So if you've been verified as eligible to participate in the match and SOAP, and you do find out on Monday, March 16th, that you didn't match or are partially unmatched, you'll be able to access the list of unfilled programs in the R3 system. That's the NRMP system. And I'm going to show you where to access that list in just a moment. If you're partially unmatched, you will only be able to access positions for which you are eligible. So what that means is, to use an example similar to the one earlier, if you match to an advanced position and not a preliminary position, you only have access to preliminary positions on the list of unfilled programs. If you match to only a preliminary position, you'll only have access to advanced positions on the list. So during SOAP, you can only apply to unfilled positions participating in SOAP. Match participating programs that aren't participating in SOAP, as well as programs not in the match, cannot be contacted by any means until after SOAP concludes. And most important of all the communication rules, other than sending your application, no other communication or reaching out to programs is allowed by you or anyone on your behalf. So you can only apply through the application service required by the program and then wait for the programs to reach out to you based on that application. And truly, there can be no contacting programs until the program contacts you. And that includes your mentor reaching out to someone that they know, or your mother's rheumatologist calling a program for you. Those are all against the rules. And make no mistake, programs regularly report these violations to us. So please don't get yourself in trouble by contacting programs until they contact you. Once a program initiates contact with you, then you can reach out to them however you choose. And you can have your mentor reach out to them. But they, meaning the program, have to initiate contact with you first. For applicants who are not SOAP eligible, in other words, you weren't verified as eligible to participate in the match, or you're fully matched, you will not have access to the list of unfilled programs, and you cannot apply to or contact any match participating programs until after SOAP finishes. NRMP does also offer a SOAP participation exception. This exception allows fully unmatched applicants who want to not participate in SOAP, who want to refrain from participating in SOAP because they want to pursue interests outside of clinical residency training, so things like research or a master's academic program. You can pursue those opportunities instead of participating in SOAP. So unmatched applicants can pursue this option if the position that they're pursuing is not affiliated with a match or SOAP participating residency program. The position doesn't qualify for training credit in an ACGME accredited residency program, and the applicant does not submit any applications to SOAP participating programs during match week. So for the avoidance of doubt, if this option is one you intend to take, you or your advocates may not contact SOAP participating programs for the purpose of discussing or seeking a clinical training position until the conclusion of SOAP. So let's take a look at this 2026 match week and SOAP schedule. So we are going to walk through this in detail, but here's kind of the overview. Match week starts on Monday, March 16th at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time when you find out whether you matched. And your match message is going to say, so congratulations, you've matched if you're fully matched. The messages do not say what specialty that you matched in. If you are partially matched, your message will say what kind of position you've matched to. And if you're fully unmatched, it will say that you did not match to any position. If you are fully matched, you will find out where you matched on Friday of match week. Please do not call the NRMP asking where you matched or what specialty you matched to if you're fully matched. We will be working with applicants who must SOAP, so we ask for your understanding. Please do go celebrate, but wait for Friday, since you do not need that information to participate in SOAP. We hope that you are fully matched, but if you're not, SOAP begins with that notification. The list of unfilled programs will be available to SOAP eligible applicants in the NRMP system at the same time as results are released at 10 a.m. on Monday. Then starting at 11, applicants can start preparing applications in the different application services. Programs don't start receiving applications until Tuesday, so you do have a little bit of time to review the list of unfilled programs in the NRMP and make some decisions about your next steps before applying. On Tuesday at 8 a.m. is when programs can begin reviewing applications and contact applicants. Wednesday is dedicated to programs reviewing applications and interviewing, as well as creating their preference lists in advance of the offer rounds. And then, of course, Thursday is when all 4 offer rounds occur. But let's dive into the details of the schedule step by step. Let's start by going back to what's going to happen on Monday of match week. Monday, March 16th, 10 a.m., you're going to find out if you matched. We already talked about that. We will send an email, although once it leaves our servers, we can't guarantee receipt. But you can always view whether you matched in the R3 system, and that is the true source of the information. So you can log into the R3 system. To assist in SOAP efforts, partially unmatched applicants, as well as couple applicants whose partner did not match, will have the city, state, and zip code of their match program provided, along with their match status in the R3 system. You used to have to call the NRP to get this information, but now we're putting it into the R3 system for you. So it will be immediately available on the match homepage. Again, if you're partially unmatched or a couple applicant whose partner didn't match. And this is really just to assist applicants who are partially unmatched or coupled applicants whose partner matched, search for those complementary positions in SOAP. If you're unmatched or partially matched, you'll have access to the list of unfilled programs in the NRMP system, also at 10 a.m., and then be able to begin applying to SOAP programs beginning at 11 a.m. So the biggest thing to remember is that on Monday, you're going to be using both systems. of NRMP and the application service or services, so multiple systems, to participate in SOAP. So the NRMP provides your match status and the unfilled programs list, and ERAS and ResidencyCAS provide the applications. So let's take a look at where you'll view your match status and the list of unfilled programs. Upon logging into the NRMP R3 system at 10 a.m. on Monday of Match Week, you'll be directed to your match homepage, and that's going to be where it displays your match status. That's that text in the yellow box. If you see you're partially unmatched, this is also where you'll see location information for your matched program. Applicants who are fully matched will not see any location information for where you matched. You'll also see your SOAP status in the lower right corner of the green applicant information section of the screen. Clicking on the SOAP link in the top menu bar includes a link to the list of unfilled programs, as well as a link to SOAP offers. When you click on the unfilled list link, the unfilled list will display with linked specialties and position types, along with the number of unfilled programs and positions. You're just then going to click on the specialty and position type that you're interested in to view those unfilled programs, and you'll be able to see how many positions are currently unfilled in each one. Remember that applicants who are fully unmatched can view every specialty and position type, but applicants who are partially unmatched can view only those positions that they're eligible for. You'll then head on over to the application service that was designated by the program to apply. And again, no other communication with programs is allowed. So as you can see on that unfilled list, there are different types of programs in the match. The type assigned to a program is based on the specialty and the training that's provided. So let's go through those programs really quick so that you know what some of those codes mean as you're looking at the list of unfilled programs. So categorical or C programs provide the full residency training required for specialty board certification. They begin in PGY1 and take anywhere from 3 to 7 years to complete. So family medicine, internal medicine, OBGYN, surgery, pathology, all examples of categorical programs. And more than 80% of the programs in the match are categorical programs. So that is usually the majority of the positions in the match. Primary care categorical or M programs are also categorical, but they prepare residents to be primary care physicians in either internal medicine or pediatrics. Because primary care programs are considered categorical, they also provide the full training required for specialty board certification. So they start in PGY1 and they take 3 years to complete. And only programs in internal medicine or pediatrics can be designated as primary care categorical programs, again, with their training focus being on primary care. The next two program types we've kind of talked about a little bit, but let's talk about them in detail. And you kind of have to consider them together. So these are preliminary or P programs and advanced or A programs. Preliminary programs are 1 or 2 year programs that begin in PGY1. These programs provide prerequisite training for advanced programs. So they're most often in internal medicine, surgery, or our transitional year programs. There are some prelim programs in PEDS. They're usually 2 years in length, and they provide prelim training required for an advanced program in child neurology or neurodevelopmental disabilities. Advanced programs are programs that begin at the PGY2 level. So they begin in your 2nd year of residency. So when they're offered in the match, advanced program training begins in the year after the match. So advanced programs in the 2026 match begin training in July 2027. And that's so that an applicant can complete the required preliminary training before beginning that advanced position. So the match allows applicants to rank these advanced programs on their primary rank order list and preliminary programs on a supplemental rank order list to hopefully match to a full course of training in a single match season. But that, of course, if you don't match to one or the other, prelim or advanced, that's the example of you being partially matched. So anesthesiology, radiology, neurology, all examples of specialties that offer advanced training. And keep in mind that some specialties offer training in categorical and advanced programs, and even some institutions and specialties at the individual institution level, we'll sometimes offer both categorical and advanced tracks. So you will potentially have multiple training options to consider, and you'll see multiple types of programs on the unfilled list. The last program type is the physician reserved, or R programs. R programs are advanced programs because the applicants enter training again in their PGY2 year, but training begins in the year of the match. So for this year in July 2026. And they're called reserved because they're reserved for physicians with prior graduate medical education who already have that prerequisite training done to enter an advanced program. And these positions usually come into the match because of attrition. Somebody has had a resident that hasn't been able to complete their preliminary training in time, so they put that position back into the match. So those are the program types. So when you're going through the Match Week and SOAP process, once you've found out your match status and reviewed the list of unfilled programs and looked at all of those kind of program types and what you're looking for and what's going to meet your needs best, it then is time to switch over to the application services to apply to those unfilled programs in which you're interested. Remember that the list of unfilled programs provided by the NRMP should absolutely be your guide to applying to programs during SOAP. The list, as I showed previously, is only going to display the options you're eligible for, so that's the list you must use in applying. However, each application service will display all the unfilled programs that are using that service for SOAP. So what does that mean, right? So here's an example. An applicant who matched to an advanced neurology program is only eligible to apply to and accept preliminary positions during SOAP. However, the applicant will be able to see all the unfilled neurology programs in SOAP. So you are responsible for ensuring you apply to only the positions that you're eligible for as you see them on the unfilled list of programs in the NRMP. And I understand that it may be tempting to apply to other programs that you may not be eligible for. But if you do that, you will be wasting an application. Those programs won't be able to place you on their preference list, and so you won't get an offer from them. And you'll have wasted one of your limited SOAP applications. And we'll talk about how many SOAP applications you get in just a moment. You can apply to different specialties than you previously applied to during SOAP. And you can apply to unfilled programs that you previously applied to if you're still interested in them. So once you've decided which programs you want to apply to during SOAP using the NRMP's list of unfilled programs, you'll need to apply using the application service designated by the program. There are 2 application services in the 2026 match, and while we do work closely together to make the application and matching process work for applicants and programs, the NRMP and the different application services are separate organizations. We have separate systems and we manage different parts of the process. So I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but we do get a lot of confused folks sometimes giving us a call. So NRMP staff can't assist you with your application questions. So make sure that you direct all your questions about the application process to the application service you're using. So either ResidencyCAS or ERAS, and their staff is going to be happy to assist. But just to get into more detail, the application services participating this year are ResidencyCAS, and they are providing application services for programs in emergency medicine, combined emergency medicine programs, and obstetrics and gynecology. And then, of course, ERAS, the AAMC's electronic residency application service, is providing application services for programs in every match participating specialty besides emergency medicine and OBGYN. So NRMP and our application service colleagues work together to make SOAP work for applicants. So toward that end, all the application services do adhere to the same schedule, the same number of applications and fees during SOAP. Applicants will have a limit of 45 applications in each service to use during SOAP. So you'll have 45 in ERAS and 45 in ResidencyCAS if you choose to use them. There are no additional fees to apply during SOAP if the applicant applied to at least one program using that application service for the 2026 season prior to the start of SOAP. But if, for example, an unmatched OBGYN applicant only completed ResidencyCAS and wants to apply to, for instance, family medicine programs using ERAS, they will need to pay the $99 fee to apply using ERAS during SOAP. But let me turn things over to my application service colleagues to explain their services during SOAP in more detail.
Hi everyone, my name is Laurel Constantine, and today I'll be going over the Electronic Residency Application Service experience in the NRMP SOAP. My goal for this segment is to familiarize attendees with the ERAS system and the MyERAS application process during SOAP in order for applicants to prepare their application materials as well as have a better understanding of the experience ahead of SOAP. To start, ERAS is an AAMC service designed to streamline the residency application process. For those who have applied during the regular season, the residency application process and ERAS during SOAP will be familiar. So what are the options for preparing in MyERAS for SOAP? There are several action items applicants can complete ahead of time to set up for a smoother experience in MyERAS during SOAP. These pre-SOAP tasks are highlighted in the SOAP 2026 checklist available on the ERAS for Applicants website. Before SOAP, make sure that you are able to log into your AAMC account and access MyERAS. Should you not remember your password, use the Forget Username Password option, or if you encounter any difficulties, contact the AAMC Support Center ahead of time to report and resolve these issues. Additionally, if an applicant has not yet done so for the ERAS 2026 season, they will need to certify and submit their MyERAS application prior to applying to programs during SOAP. This will finalize their application in preparation for the condensed timeline of SOAP. Keep in mind that the application cannot be edited once it has been certified and submitted, with the exception of the personal information section. Please remember to keep that section updated. Additionally, applicants have the option to upload new or updated supporting documents for their application. I'll go through each document type and how these updates will work prior to and during SOAP. The process is nearly identical to the regular season. For applicants, in terms of the medical school transcript, medical student performance evaluation, or letters of recommendation, once these are uploaded by your respective dean's office or authors, they will then appear in the applicant's MyERAS Documents tab for assignment. Applicants may request the release of any new or updated USMLE or COMLEX USA transcripts. These transmissions typically take less than a couple of hours during normal business hours. However, before and throughout SOAP, our business partners at the NBME and the NBOME make a concerted effort to turn these requests around as quickly as possible. Applicants can also update or add their photo and personal statements. If applicants have already certified and submitted their application for the ERAS 2026 season, the personal statement is a good place to include new or updated developments or information the applicant would like to share with the program. I will talk about the process of assigning each of these documents later in the presentation. To apply to programs during SOAP, there are a couple of key requirements in ERAS. To participate in SOAP, applicants must be SOAP eligible, which is determined by the NRMP. In ERAS, applicants must have certified and submitted their MyERAS application prior to submitting applications to eligible and available programs during SOAP. For those who apply during the regular ERAS 2026 season, this step is complete. For those who did not complete this during the regular ERAS 2026 season, you can go to the MyERAS application to certify and submit. If an applicant has not applied to at least one program prior to SOAP and is SOAP eligible, they will have to pay the ERAS base fee of $99 to participate. If an applicant has not sent their USMLE or COMLEX USA transcripts for the ERAS 2026 season, a fee of $80 per transcript type will apply. Please keep in mind that this transcript request and fee is solely for the MyERAS application service, meaning the fee is assessed once per season at the time of first request. For full information on the regular season application fee structure, you may visit the ERAS for Applicants website. The base fee is only applicable to applicants who have not applied to a program before 7:30 a.m. on Monday, March 16th. Applicants do not have to pay the $99 base fee if they apply to a program beforehand. Please note the fee assistance cannot be applied to the $99 base fee, but can be applied to the regular ERAS season fees. All SOAP applicants have a 45 application maximum to use as they wish throughout SOAP. The 45 application maximum includes all programs that the applicant applies to during SOAP. Those 45 applications include any programs to which the applicant is reapplying. For example, if an applicant reapplies to 10 programs they applied to during the regular season, they now have 35 remaining for additional applications. These can be tracked in various places that I will highlight in the coming slides. Please note applicants cannot withdraw an application after it has been submitted. Applicants should refer to the NRMP R3 system in between rounds for programs they are eligible for based on match status. I've covered applicant preparations in my ERAS prior to SOAP, explained ERAS fees during SOAP. Let's talk about navigating the My ERAS application during SOAP. This is the general map or technical order for applying to programs in My ERAS during SOAP. Don't worry, I'll break it down further in the next few slides. But to start is to review the NRMP's list of unfilled programs. Side note here, just keep in mind the 45 application maximum when you are reviewing those programs. When they are ready, applicants will navigate to the My ERAS system and log into their AAMC account. And from there, applicants will select their SOAP participation. Then applicants can search for programs through the Programs tab. Select the training track or tracks of interest, save programs, submit applications, and assign documents. The next few slides are going to break this process down a bit more. Please keep in mind that these slide images that I'm showing are simply examples from a demoing environment. They may not reflect your experience exactly. On Monday, March 16th, My ERAS is closed from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So upon logging into the My ERAS application on Monday, March 16th, when SOAP begins at 11 a.m., you will be prompted to select your SOAP participation. Applicants who are participating in SOAP will select, I am registered for the NRMP main residency match, have a valid NRMP ID, am not already fully matched, and am participating in SOAP. Please note that applicants without a valid NRMP ID will be unable to participate in SOAP. After selecting your SOAP participation status, click Submit. Once you select I'm registered for the NRMP main residency match, have a valid NRMP ID, am not fully matched, and am participating in SOAP, your dashboard will reflect your status and display you are participating in SOAP. Please note if you initially select the incorrect status, you'll be able to click Edit and change the status before Tuesday. Starting with the Programs tab, this is one of the central stops during the SOAP process. This is where applicants can search for programs, view saved programs, and programs applied to, or reapply to programs they applied to during the regular season. When Search Programs is selected, the page shown here appears, giving the option to search for programs by accreditation ID or specialty. To search for a program by NRMP program code, select Search by Accreditation ID and enter the program code in the free text box. Applicants can use either method depending on the level of specificity. Next, any search results will come up on this page, where programs can be selected and saved. Applicants participating in SOAP can only apply to ACGME programs participating in SOAP. The search results will be limited to SOAP programs as of the latest NRMP offer round. Please note applicants will need to refer to the NRMP R3 system for which tracks they are eligible after the first, second, and third round depending on their match status. These results can be filtered as usual. The MyERAS system no longer shows program search results based on an applicant's eligibility for tracks for partially matched applicants when applying to programs. Please refer to the NRMP system for your eligibility. Towards the top, applicants can see how many applications of the 45 maximum have been used. In the left column, note that this falls under the Search Program tab for navigation. The yellow box towards the center of the page labeled Eligible for Reapply shows applicants if they are eligible to reapply to a specific program. A quick way to view the programs an applicant is eligible for reapply is to click the blue link at the center of the page labeled Reapply to Programs. Once new and/or reapply programs and tracks are identified, check the box next to the program and click the green Save All Selected button to mark them as saved. Please note program signals are unavailable during SOAP. Once all desired programs have been identified and saved, applicants can move down the left navigation to Save Programs. During SOAP, focus on the top box labeled SOAP Programs in the blue header. From here, applicants will select a specialty and a list of saved SOAP participating programs will populate. Then applicants will either assign documents or go ahead and apply to programs. In the top right corner, applicants can see exactly how many programs have been selected. When applicants are ready to apply to save programs, clicking the green Apply button will take applicants to the next screen. The highlighted box contains an arrow indicating where the applicants can find the NRMP program code. This code can be used by applicants to check the R3 system for eligibility. Notice that for SOAP participating applicants, the non-SOAP programs box has a message letting them know that they can only apply to SOAP programs during this time. There may be leftover saved programs from the regular season in the non-SOAP programs box, and this is okay. You will not be able to take any action on those items during SOAP except to delete them. Linked by each program is a direct link to a free resource for students, the Residency Explorer tool. From characteristics such as size, demographics, and educational tracks, to understanding employment benefits, mentorship opportunities, and career outcomes, the Residency Explorer tool equips students with the information they need to confidently build their program list and make informed application decisions. Once an applicant selects Apply Preview Invoice, they are brought to this page where they will see any applicable ERAS base fees or exam transcript release fees. In this example, the applicant applied to programs during the regular season and already paid their transcript fees earlier in the season, so their total is 0. Before applying to programs, applicants will need to agree to the ERAS payment policy. Applicants will also be able to see the count of remaining SOAP applications after the transaction is complete. To complete the transaction and application submission, the applicant selects Continue on the bottom right. Shifting back to the Reapply to Programs tab, again, applicants may apply to programs they apply to during the regular season if there is an available position during SOAP. If so, applicants may select the box next to that track and program and then click the green Reapply to Programs button. This will resubmit your application. Programs will already have the applicant's documents from their regular season application, but you may assign or update some documents to your reapply programs. To reiterate, and as you can also see there in the middle, these count towards your 45 SOAP programs maximum. Exactly like the regular application season, applicants will need to assign their application documents to programs. Doing the preparatory work to have these updated and ready to go in MyERAS make for a more seamless process when assigning documents. In the Programs Applied to tab, applicants can take an action for one program at a time. Alternatively, applicants can assign documents in bulk through the Documents tab. It's really up to you on which is your preferred method, or you can use a combination if you'd like. In the Additional Documents tab, applicants can view and monitor their USMLE or COMLEX USA examination transcript release status. These transmissions typically take less than a couple of hours during normal business hours. But once again, the NBME and NBOME are aware of the necessary expediency during this time and will work to resolve these requests as quick as possible before and throughout SOAP. Under the Documents tab, applicants will see the 3 categories of documents listed in the left menu: personal statements, letters of recommendation, and additional documents. I'll go through each and their functions during SOAP. This will look and operate almost identically to the regular application season. For personal statements, any new or updated personal statements may be uploaded here. Once visible in the system, applicants can take action in assigning these as desired. To do so, click Assign in the Actions drop-down menu. When Assign is selected, the list of saved and applied programs appears. Under SOAP programs, applicants may click the top checkbox to select all, or the individual checkboxes next to each program to assign a personal statement individually. Once selected, the applicant will click Save, and the relevant statements will be assigned to the selected program or programs. This screen is a good place to track and verify each program's application status and particular document assignments in the far right columns. Note that programs applied to during the regular season will appear under the bottom header, Non-SOAP Programs. This is simply for reference and is not actionable during SOAP. Next up in document assignments are letters of recommendation. Any new or updated letter of recommendation may be uploaded by the author through the letter of recommendation portal at any time leading up to or during SOAP. Once submitted, they will appear here in the list of letters available for assignment. For reapply applications, note that applicants cannot unassign or recall a previously submitted letter of recommendation. Also keep in mind the 4-letter maximum LOR per program through ERAS, or adhere to any program-specific requirements for letters of recommendation. To assign letters, click the box next to the desired letter and select Assign from the Actions drop-down menu. During the 2026 SOAP, applicants can transfer completed LORs, including standardized letters of evaluation, between the ERAS system and the application system used by OBGYN and emergency medicine programs, which we will cover in the coming slides. Again, the list of saved and applied programs appears. Here, applicants can check the box next to the SOAP programs to which they'd like to assign that particular letter. Once any or all programs are selected, the applicant will click Assign to complete that part of the process. In the far right columns, applicants can track the status of that program's application and how many letters of recommendation have been assigned. Note again that the non-SOAP programs list in the bottom section is deactivated during SOAP. The last section under Documents is the Additional Documents tab. From here, applicants can see and track their document statuses. Applicants can also take action on these documents, such as authorizing the release of the USMLE or COMLEX USA transcripts, and assigning other documents in bulk to program applications. Remember that these documents can be updated and prepared before Match Week and SOAP. For international medical graduates, it's going to look a little different than the example here, but it is still the same as the regular season. Transcript requests should still be submitted through the OASIS system and then assigned here in MyERAS. Resources and questions regarding international medical graduates' document transmissions should be directed to ERAS Support Services at the ECFMG. At this point, applicants may complete any applications or document assignments as they wish within the allotted timeline. Following application submissions and during rounds, applicants may receive communications through the MyERAS Message Center tab. Applicants can connect with their designated dean's offices for guidance throughout this process, and should any system questions or technical issues arise during this process, please contact the AAMC Support Center. As mentioned previously, during the 2026 SOAP, applicants can transfer completed LORs, including standardized letters of evaluation, between the ERAS system and the application system used by OBGYN and emergency medicine. The steps listed in Box 1 is for applicants who received LORs in the ERAS system during the main application cycle and plan to participate in SOAP for OBGYN or EM. Steps listed in Box 2 is for applicants who received LORs in the OBGYN or EM application systems during the main application cycle and need to participate in SOAP for a different specialty. Please note, applicants will not be able to access the content of these LORs. They will only have access to identifying information such as the author name, LOR type, and received data. Transferred letters appear as completed and ready to assign shortly after release. We've talked about the SOAP participation requirements. Let's go ahead and talk about the schedule. As you can see, this is an overall view of the week. To not overwhelm you, this document is available on our ERAS program SOAP information page. Firstly, ERAS will become inaccessible at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, March 16th, as we prepare for the week of SOAP. Following that, later at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, SOAP applicants may begin applying through My ERAS. Know that My ERAS, the Letter of Recommendation portal, and DWS will be available throughout SOAP for document uploading. And with that, I've concluded the ERAS portion of today's presentation. Thank you. Hi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, especially during what we know can be a really stressful and uncertain part of the process. My name is Jen Rabb, and I'm a learning experience designer with the ResidencyCAS team. I'd also like to extend a sincere thank you to NRMP and our partner organizations for hosting and supporting this collaborative session. We truly value the opportunity to work together across systems to support our shared community of future physicians. Efforts like this, focused on clarity, coordination, and transparency, are especially important during SOAP, and we're grateful to be part of that partnership. Today we'll walk through what to expect when using ResidencyCAS during SOAP. Today we'll focus on how ResidencyCAS is used during SOAP for OBGYN and emergency medicine, including combined programs. ResidencyCAS supports application submission and document delivery. It's important to note that NRMP governs eligibility, timing, and the offer and acceptance process. ResidencyCAS works alongside NRMP, but it does not replace it. This is also the same system programs use to review applications, both during the main match and again during SOAP. Let's start with ResidencyCAS access and preparation. If you are new to ResidencyCAS, accounts cannot be created independently. Access is provided through your medical school or student affairs office. For international medical graduates, access is provided through InThealth or ECFMG. Applicants do not need to be SOAP eligible to request access. If there is concern about potentially participating in SOAP, access can and should be requested in advance. Once access is granted, applicants may begin working on their application right away, even before SOAP opens. This includes completing profile information and uploading required documents. It's important to clarify that early access allows applicants to prepare their application, but some SOAP-specific actions are intentionally available only once SOAP opens. For example, applicants cannot submit SOAP applications or confirm ERAS letter sharing until SOAP officially begins. Getting access early helps applicants avoid delays during an already compressed timeline and ensures they are ready to act when SOAP opens. Now that we've covered access, let's talk about how applicants can plan ahead before SOAP begins. SOAP eligibility is determined entirely by NRMP and displayed in the R3 system. ResidencyCAS does not grant or override eligibility. On Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, match results are released in R3. Applicants who are SOAP eligible will see a SOAP tab appear and gain access to the list of unfilled programs. Programs that use ResidencyCAS during SOAP are clearly identified in that list. Before we look at the application itself, let's talk about what applicants should do ahead of time. Before SOAP opens, applicants should confirm they can access ResidencyCAS, complete their profile information, and upload any available required documents, including letters of recommendation, MSPEs, transcripts, and test scores. We recognize that SOAP is fast-moving, and not everything may be ready at once. Some documents, especially letters, are often finalized later. However, incomplete profiles or missing documents can delay applications once review begins. This is why we strongly encourage applicants not to wait until match week to request access. If there are concerns about potentially needing to participate in SOAP, applicants should work with their medical school early. Preparing in advance allows applicants to focus on decision-making during SOAP itself, rather than scrambling to complete basic setup. We'll also talk shortly about tools designed to help streamline letter use during this compressed timeline, including optional letter sharing capabilities that become available once SOAP opens. With that context, let's walk through what this looks like in ResidencyCAS. As an applicant, you'll land on the dashboard as your starting point. The application is comprised of 4 sections, also called quadrants. You can begin working on these quadrants once you've received your access link. Click on a section and complete the question prompts. For example, to order your USMLE or COMLEX scores, click the USMLE and COMLEX score section, enter your information, and complete the steps to pay for or import your scores. To get back to your dashboard, click the Home icon. Jump to any of the application sections using the left navigation bar. Click Add Program to find all SOAP-designated programs. To add a program, click the plus sign next to the program you're interested in applying to. If you decide you're no longer interested in applying to a program, simply click the trash icon to remove it from your selection. You'll find all of your added programs in My Programs. You'll find letters of recommendation and standard letters of evaluation in the Program Materials section of the application. If you submitted an application in ResidencyCAS before and now want to submit a SOAP application through ERAS, you can share your SLOs and letters of recommendation to ERAS. Click Learn More and complete the prompt. Whether you've applied through ResidencyCAS before or if it's your first time, you must assign evaluations to the programs you're applying to. To add an evaluator, click the plus sign and enter your evaluator's information. If you want to assign the evaluation immediately, click the Assign checkbox. You can also assign evaluations after adding an evaluator. If you didn't click Assign when submitting the request, click Assign next to the evaluator's name and select the programs who you want to receive their letter. If you're completing the ResidencyCAS application for the first time, we have a video that goes more in depth about completing and submitting the application. You can find this video in our Quick Start Guide in the ResidencyCAS Applicant Help Center. You can access the Help Center at any time by clicking the question mark in the application. Now that you've seen the application environment, let's talk about submitting applications during SOAP. During SOAP, only programs designated as SOAP programs are available to apply to. Applicants can add programs, assign required documents, and submit applications during the official SOAP window. Although applicants may submit applications starting Monday, programs cannot view any applications until Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, when review officially begins. Next, let's cover an optional feature related to letters of recommendation. For SOAP 2026, ResidencyCAS offers an optional letter sharing feature designed to give applicants flexibility during a very compressed timeline. If an applicant is eligible to use letter sharing during SOAP, they'll see clear banner notifications within ResidencyCAS, under What's Next on the homepage and within the Evaluations section. Seeing a banner does not mean letters are being shared. It simply indicates that the option is available if the applicant chooses to proceed. When an applicant selects one of these banners, they're taken to a confirmation step. Before any letters are shared, applicants must explicitly confirm their authorization. Letter sharing options become available when SOAP opens, beginning Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This confirmation explains that all letters of recommendation or evaluations, including SLOs and eSLOs, are being shared, and clarifies that ERAS will receive and manage those letters once released. It's important to note that letter sharing and letter assignment are two separate steps. Sharing a letter with a platform does not automatically assign it to programs. Applicants must still assign letters within each system and submit them with their applications. Letter sharing is optional, not automatic, and no action is taken without applicants' direct consent. Once letters are released to ERAS, that action cannot be undone, so applicants should review this decision carefully before confirming. Next, let's cover application limits and fees. Applicants may submit up to 45 SOAP applications total across all ResidencyCAS specialties combined. For example, if an applicant applies to 15 OBGYN programs and later applies to emergency medicine or combined programs, they would still have 30 remaining applications. Applicants who already used ResidencyCAS earlier in the cycle pay no additional fee. First-time ResidencyCAS users during SOAP pay a one-time $99 fee, which covers all 45 applications. Finally, let's talk about what happens after applications are submitted and where to get help. After applications are submitted, programs begin reviewing applications Tuesday morning and may contact applicants to schedule interviews, typically by phone or video. Applicants should monitor their email and ResidencyCAS closely, including spam folders due to the compressed timeline. All offers and acceptances occur through NRMP's R3 system. SOAP ends Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. At that point, SOAP designated programs close in ResidencyCAS, and applicants may contact programs directly. If applicants need help at any point, the ResidencyCAS Applicant Help Center and support team are available by email or phone. Thank you again for joining us today. We know SOAP can feel fast-moving and overwhelming, with a lot to manage across systems, timelines, and decisions. Our goal is to make the ResidencyCAS portion of this process as clear and manageable as possible, so you can stay focused on what matters most. You are not navigating this alone. The ResidencyCAS team is here to support you throughout SOAP and beyond. This is one step in a much longer path, and many successful physicians have stood exactly where you are now. We're confident in your ability to move forward, and we're here to help you make it happen. Thanks again for your time.
So thanks so much to my colleagues from ERAS and ResidencyCAS. So just to summarize, I know that was a lot of information. Applicants at risk of going unmatched who have applied during the regular season only through ResidencyCAS should complete an ERAS application now in advance of SOAP if you intend to apply to unfilled positions in other specialties. And applicants at risk of going unmatched who've applied during the regular season only through ERAS should complete a ResidencyCAS application now in advance of SOAP if you intend to apply to any unfilled positions in obstetrics and gynecology or emergency medicine combined specialties. So you've gotten kind of that application process piece. Now let's talk about after applying. As I mentioned earlier, programs can start reviewing applications on Tuesday at 8 a.m., as you also saw in the systems for the application services. And once programs begin receiving applications on Tuesday morning and they have a chance to review them, usually they'll begin calling the applicants in whom they're interested. So that's going to happen on Tuesday and Wednesday. So programs are reviewing applications, they're reaching out, usually via phone or email to the applicants. I know it will be tempting to call programs, especially if you haven't gotten any communication as the day wears on. However, again, to make the process fair for all applicants, it is a violation of SOAP rules to contact programs until they contact you. Throughout Tuesday and Wednesday, you should be available for interviews and communication with programs as much as you can. How programs review applications, contact applicants, and conduct interviews is completely up to the programs. Some programs are going to be quick about it and some won't. Some will call applicants well into the evening and some early in the morning. Some are going to set up Zoom or other video interviews, and some are just going to do quick phone interviews. Just keep in mind that many of these programs also did not plan to SOAP, and so they may be trying to work around clinical schedules or other commitments to participate. It is up to the individual programs how they review applications, interview, and decide which applicants will be placed on their preference list. Based on their application review and conversations or interviews, programs begin making preference lists in the NRMP. And that brings us to Thursday and the SOAP offer rounds. All 4 SOAP offer rounds are held on Thursday, and you saw some of this in the schedules that were shown by the application services. And just to reiterate, positions are offered through the R3 system, which is the NRMP system, to applicants, and they happen at the beginning of the offer rounds. So each round lasts 2 hours. The first offer round will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Applicants will receive an email if an offer is extended, or they can view any offers in the R3 system under the SOAP tab. The emails we send are just a courtesy, so if you have any concerns about whether or not you have an offer, log into the R3 system. Offers of positions will only come through the R3 system, not through the application service. And no offers or commitments are allowed outside of the R3 system. Applicants can receive multiple offers in any SOAP round, and you as an applicant will have 2 hours in which to accept, reject, or let the offers expire. So all the offers are released at the same time at the beginning of the round, so at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. When the first round ends at 11 a.m., any unaccepted offers will expire, and the list of unfilled programs is updated with the remaining SOAP positions. So applicants do have those 2 hours in which to accept, reject, or let offers expire, and that happens in each SOAP round. We often get asked about application strategy for SOAP. It is up to you, the applicant, if you choose to use all of your applications prior to the first round of offers being sent out, or if you decide to hold some back to apply to any remaining unfilled programs after subsequent rounds. Keep in mind, though, with all 4 rounds being held on the same day in rapid succession, and most positions, which you'll see in a bit, filling in the first round, it is questionable whether programs will look at any additional applications in between rounds. In between rounds, programs can update their preference list based on the results of the round. And then the next round, after that first round, round 2 will begin at 12 p.m. The third round begins at 3, and the final and fourth round begins at 6 p.m. Let's review how the offer rounds work because there is often some confusion about it. So remember that the SOAP process differs from the match since there are no rank order lists or an algorithm for this secondary process. So here's how the offer rounds work. Positions are offered to applicants in order of the program's preference list and according to the number of unfilled positions remaining in the program during each round. So for example, a program has 2 unfilled positions. They submit a preference list, and in the first offer round, 2 offers go out to the first 2 people on the program's preference list. If both offers are accepted, the program is filled. Their participation in SOAP is complete, and those two applicants have positions with a binding commitment. If both offers are rejected or expire, the program's positions will be offered to the next two applicants on the preference list at the beginning of the next SOAP round. If in our example, one position is accepted and the second is declined, then the program will have one offer that will go out to the next applicant on their preference list, but again, not until the next offer round begins. So we only send as many offers as there are positions in each round, and offers do not roll to the next applicant during a round. All offers are sent out at the beginning of the round. Rejected offers will not be made again to the same applicant, so you should think carefully about rejecting any offers you receive. And again, program positions that are rejected by applicants will not be issued to other potential candidates until the start of the next offer round. The list of unfilled programs will be updated in the R3 system for SOAP eligible applicants after the completion of the round. So let's take a look at R3 so you can see what offers look like. Again, this is the NRMP system. So after you log in and you click on that SOAP menu highlighted by the arrow and select offers, you'll see a banner telling you the status of the round and if all the offers have been generated. So this is an applicant who has offers, as you can see on the pending offers tab. If you don't have any offers, the banner will say that you don't have any offers in the current round. You can see in our example that this applicant has two pending offers. When you click on that tab, you can see the institution, the specialty, the NRMP program code, and the ACGME code when you open that tab. You can then click on the offer to view the offer details and either accept or reject the offer or return to the offers page. You will need to enter your NRMP password to accept an offer, so make sure you know your password and do not have it saved only in your browser. Any offers rejected or allowed to expire will not be reoffered to the same applicant. Once you've accepted an offer, you'll see the offers under the Accepted Offers tab, and your accepted SOAP position will also appear on your match homepage. You will not receive a match day email with your SOAP position from NRMP since you already know that information. You already have your SOAP position information because you accepted the offer. So we're not going to send you a match day email with that same information that you already have. The final SOAP round ends at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where any offers that have not been acted on in the fourth round will expire. After the final round, the NRMP takes any remaining unfilled positions and creates a dynamic list of unfilled programs, which is then updated with the programs that chose not to participate in SOAP. The previous list under the SOAP tab will not be updated after the last SOAP round. SOAP concludes at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, March 19th, with the release of this dynamic unfilled program list, and applicants can begin contacting programs. Programs can update the number of remaining unfilled positions as they're filled after SOAP, although some are better about doing it than others, so I will just warn you about that. After the release, no additional positions are going to be added to the list. Positions are only removed as they are filled. So once SOAP is concluded, you won't access the list under that SOAP menu option, but rather through the unfilled list link in orange at the top of the screen. And just know that this orange link isn't going to appear to you until 9 p.m. So don't worry if you don't see it at 8 o'clock right after SOAP concludes. Again, we're updating it with the list of programs that chose not to participate in SOAP, so we need a little time to do that. This match homepage is also where, if you match, the results of where you matched will be released on Friday, March 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time in the R3 system and by email. Or your school may have match ceremonies. So if you matched, your match message with your match results will be updated in that yellow box on Friday. And then this is also where you're going to see any SOAP offers that you have accepted. This is what that dynamic list of unfilled programs looks like. That's again under that orange tab after SOAP concludes. Each specialty and program type with unfilled positions remaining will be a hyperlink and will open a PDF with the unfilled positions listed, along with the contact information for the program. Once SOAP ends, you can contact programs however you choose. Once the NRMP releases the final list and SOAP concludes, it's up to the programs how or if they choose to fill any of those remaining unfilled positions. And of course, Friday, March 20th is match day. NRMP will release the full results of the match to applicants at noon Eastern Time through the R3 system and via courtesy email. Note that the email does get sent a minute or two early to mitigate load on our systems. So if you want to be surprised when you open your envelope at a match day ceremony, then turn off your email notifications and put away your phone. So that, my friends, is match week and SOAP. So hopefully you've gotten a good feel for what is about to happen. But I did want to take just a last few minutes to review what SOAP looked like last year, just to give you some context around the numbers for this process. So this is some of the data from the 2025 main residency match. In 2025, there were a total of 43,237 positions offered by 6,626 programs. So when the algorithm was processed, 40,764 positions filled, leaving 2,473 positions unfilled. We matched 37,667 applicants to PGY1 positions, which is an increase of 1,683 more PGY1 matched applicants than in 2024, an increase of 4.7%. The percent of all active applicants matched to PGY1 positions did decrease in 2025 from 80.2% to 79.8% in 2025. And here are the PGY1 match rates for all the applicant types in the match over the last 10 years. As you can see, U.S. medical students tend to fare the best in the match, with match rates that consistently have been between 90 and 94% for both MD and DO seniors for the last 4 years. U.S. IMG's match rate has been increasing and was 67.8% in 2025. Non-US IMG's match rate in 2025 was 58%, and the overall PGY1 match rate was 79.8% in 2025. And here are the numbers and types of unfilled positions for the past 10 years, since we are talking about SOAP. After the algorithm was processed, again, that was 2,473 of the 43,237 positions were unfilled. That's 89 fewer than in 2024. But keep in mind there were over 1,700 more positions overall in the match in 2025 and 2,355 more active applicants. So it was a very large match. This year is also looking even larger. So in looking at the types of positions that remained unfilled, 920, or about 37%, were preliminary PGY1 positions. Those are those positions usually in internal medicine, surgery, or transitional year programs that only provide that 1-year preliminary training, as we talked about earlier. That is a slight increase since 2024, when it was 36% of unfilled positions were preliminary. Much of the increase overall in unfilled categorical positions last year was due to unfilled positions in internal medicine and family medicine. After the positions from programs that didn't certify a list were added, and the unfilled positions in programs that chose not to participate in SOAP were removed, that left us with 2,521 unfilled positions in SOAP. So let's take a look at who participates in SOAP. The universe of SOAP eligible applicants is a little different from that of just active applicants who certified a rank order list and didn't match. So an active applicant is one who did certify a rank order list. So an applicant is eligible for SOAP if the applicant is registered for the match, is verified as eligible to participate, and again, who is unmatched or partially matched when we run that algorithm. Applicants who do not submit a rank order list are eligible to participate in SOAP if they're registered and verified. So going for those 2,521 total SOAP positions were 13,670 eligible applicants, and that was 502 more than in 2024 with 54 fewer positions. Of course, we have no idea what SOAP will look like this year. That will all happen after that ranking deadline and the algorithm is run. But you can see here the breakdown of the SOAP eligible applicants by type. The largest group of SOAP eligible applicants has traditionally been non-US IMGs. This slide shows the specialty preferences of unmatched applicants. Most unmatched applicants preferred internal medicine, family medicine, psychiatry, and general surgery. And then I'm going to add these bars here to show the number of available positions in SOAP in those specialties. So specialties with larger numbers of positions in SOAP were family medicine with 805, preliminary surgery programs with 549, and internal medicine with 370. This slide shows the number of positions offered and accepted by round. So those rounds that we talked about and how those offers go out and are accepted. You can see the activity that happened in each round. 1,413 of the 2,521 SOAP positions, or about 56% of positions, were accepted in the first offer round. So more than half of the positions in SOAP go during that first offer round. The yellow indicates the number of positions that were rejected in each round, so keep in mind that applicants can receive more than one offer in a round, and once they accept a position, all offers of that same type are rejected. There were 599 offers accepted in the second round, so 79.8% of positions were filled by the second round of SOAP. 247 offers were accepted in the third and 59 in the fourth. And that left us with 203 SOAP positions remaining unfilled at the conclusion of the final round. So by the conclusion of SOAP, 92% of the available SOAP positions had been filled, and the match and SOAP processes combined gave us an overall position fill rate for 2025 of 99.4%. Here's the breakdown of positions accepted by applicant and position type. The numbers above in blue show the number of SOAP eligible applicants for each applicant type. As you can see, the bulk of the positions were accepted by MD seniors. MD seniors accepted 39.6% or 918. USDO seniors accepted 22% or 511. And international medical graduates as a group filled 27% or 628 of the positions filled. That's down from 30% in 2024. And what is left at the conclusion of SOAP? Again, there were 203 positions unfilled at the conclusion of SOAP. So this shows the number of positions in SOAP by specialty after SOAP. This is the number of positions in SOAP by specialty. And then this is the number of positions remaining in those specialties after SOAP concluded. So as you can see, the bulk of positions remaining after SOAP concludes are in surgery programs, so primarily PGY1 surgery positions, those prelims, family medicine, internal medicine, some transitional year, some pediatrics, and some emergency medicine. And here are the match and placement rates for applicants for 2025 broken down by individual applicant type. The match rates I showed you a few slides ago earlier are the yellow bars. And then the placement rates include the results of both the match and SOAP. The placement rate for all MD senior applicants last year was 97.3%, and that includes all registered eligible US MD seniors in the match, whether or not they submitted a rank order list. The placement rate for active US MD seniors, so those who did certify a rank order list, was 97.8%. The placement rate for all DO seniors in 2025 was 97.4%, and the placement rate for active DO seniors was 98.4%, which was the highest placement rate for any applicant type. Placement rate for all US IMGs registering for the match in 2025 was 64.3%. And the placement rate for active IMGs, US IMGs, sorry, again, only those who certified a list of programs in the match as US IMGs, was 73.5%. And the placement rate for all non-US citizen IMGs registering for the match last year was 52.3%. And the placement rate for active, those who submitted a list of programs, certified that list, for non-US IMGs was 60.3%. So hopefully, I know this has been a lot and it's a long webinar, but hopefully this overview has been helpful. And we sincerely hope that you match. We know it's a very stressful time and can be a stressful process. But if you are at risk of not matching, we strongly encourage you to prepare now for SOAP. Besides this webinar, there are resources on all the organization websites that they showed you that can assist you. And then I'll also point you to the 2026 Applicant SOAP Guide that summarizes the material we covered here today. And there's a QR code that you can scan to access that resource. Please do reach out and contact our respective services with any questions that you might have. On behalf of the NRMP and all of the application services, I wish you the best of luck in the match and SOAP.